Hello, happy Thursday. How are you doing this wonderful Thursday? It is time for Spill the Beads with Joyce Trowbridge. That's me for Soft Flakes Company. And we are going to make some beautiful, or play with some beautiful crystals and some wire to make little links. How are you doing this fantastic Thursday? It did start raining in my neck of the woods, so it kind of is. So I started a little wet. Um, how about you? We have a great every other Thursday. I'm here, Spill the Beads with Joyce Trowbridge. That's me for Soft Flakes Company at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The alternate Thursdays are our live beach sales. So if you haven't caught one of those at 10 a.m. every other, if it's not Spill the Beads, it's a live beach show. We have two next week though, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. If you shop our live beach sales, you want to probably download that app which Thomas has linked in the comments. And that is a fantastic way to shop. You can also watch it in our on our webpage too. The cubes are from a trunk show with my Just Beat It inventory. That's what I'm going to be using are these premium crystals that we had in the live sale last week, although they are available right now. If you click those links, you can follow them and find that. Next week is our bead shopping network week. So we're going to have our regular live on Thursday. But on at 10 a.m. with a chock full with a bunch of fun things. But we're also going to be having our bead shopping network day on Friday, filled to the brim, full day, starting um, at 8 a.m. with Jesse James Beads, then Soft Flex Company at 9:30. This is on Friday, June 5th. And then Sam's Bead Shop at 11 a.m. and Jill Wiseman at 1 p.m. Beads to Live By at 2:30, and then ending the day full of shopping with the Bead Place at 4 p.m. It is a fun-filled day. We got of seeing what everybody has and being able to purchase things from everyone. Um, and we're going to kick that off. And today we're doing Spill the Beads right now. And then next, we're going to be back on Monday, June 1st, with Free Spirited Beading with Kristen at 1 p.m. And then June 3rd, Bead Party with Kay Goss. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a fun one with 1 p.m. with Sarah. And then June 4th, we will have our regularly scheduled live bead sale at 10 a.m. And then the kickoff, June 5th, Bead Shopping Network. The kickoff starts with Jesse James at 8 a.m., but we're going to be on at 9:30 a.m. So save those dates. Those are very important. Right now on our website, you can get some free beads with the coupon code Paradiso, and it's a $11.95 value, which is great with an order over $49. Don't forget to put that in. Make sure if you're copying and pasting that you're not getting an extra space. Sometimes that messes up the coupon code, and that's always like a fun. That is such a pretty strand. I am looking at it from on this picture going, ooh, I might need to pop over there myself and get one of them. And we're back. Let's see. So how are you doing this fine day? And right now we are doing a hashtag square, and we will announce a winner at the end. We'll draw one lucky winner with the hashtag square. So make sure you put that in the comments. I see people popping on. Hello, hello. I see Pamela and Sandra and Carly. Oh, hello, Linda. Enjoy. And enjoy. Oh, of course, Kristen. Thank you. Good morning. Hi, Terry. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Linda. Hello, everyone. Hi. If I did not get you, if I did not see you, I'm sorry. I will try to keep up with the comments as I'm doing this. We're going to be playing with these beautiful cubes. I have some 8 millimeter, the larger ones, and some of the 6 millimeter cubes. These are premium crystals that we have on our live sell page right now that you can purchase. This is old stock that I had at Just Beat It, pre-pandemic and pre-everything. And we are just we want these sparkles to go home with you. And I was playing, one of the things is the cubes are so interesting, but what do you do with them? So I was playing around with the craft wire, and I made these little links, and I thought that'd be fun to share with you how I make these little links. Because you know me, I love a good bead link. A bead link chain necklace. So if I can make something out of wire, how fun is that? I am using 18 gauge for the design link and 20 gauge for the link with the crystal. I love crystals too, Carol. Crystals are so fun. And I like grabbed a little bit of everything. Ooh, I even noticed I got some fours in here. Maybe if I do another trunk show with soft legs, we'll grab some of the fours. But I don't know why the fours are hanging out with me today. They just wanted to jump in. Let's get some pliers. I got round nose pliers and a pair of cutters. And then a pair of chain nose pliers. To use today. It's been so hot in here, and then right now, it is cold. It seems like I cannot get a break. Oh, good morning, good morning. Good to see you. So we are going to be using, and you can get your nylon tip pliers if you need to straighten out your wire. I am going to be forming them with chain nose pliers. I was looking for my flat nose. Those are the ones with the rectangles. And I feel like that would actually maybe do a little bit better at this. But apparently, I have misplaced in my flat nose, the ones with the square at the top. So if you try it with the flat nose, please share your findings when you are done, because I would love to see that on our VIB group. Because I think that might be a great way to do this. I'm going to do it with my chain nose pliers because that's how I did it. Because I just use my round nose pliers and chain nose pliers and maybe my multi-stepper when I'm making bigger loops, but that's usually what I only use. So I end up using my flat nose pliers for other things, and then they get misplaced. And I think that, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the chain nose might make it a little bit easier in some ways because I'm gonna do it with round nose because this is like a take on a round. I was like, what if we made them a little bit more squared off to go with the cubes? There is a way to do this like more circular or more oval, depending on how you look at it. I'm gonna start out with our 18 gauge. So we're gonna pull off a piece. I always roll off a piece instead of unwinding. And I like to work with longer pieces and then cut them as I go. If you want to try to keep these uniform, what I would suggest, because I don't know how much wire that really works, is actually measure a piece, make the piece off, and then measure what's left so that you can know what how much wire you need. That would actually benefit like when you are using precious metals. But I'm good to go with just working off of a piece. I save my little scraps and use them for smaller bits when I need to have like a little piece of wire. So I'm kind of okay with that, working off of this. It just works easier for me. So the method of this is kind of based off of the idea of taking the way round nose pliers, going about maybe about like a finger length. So that's probably about 3 inches or so. There we go. And having that in place there, and then rolling it one way and rolling the other way, and pulling this tight. We're going to make this really up at the tip. So this would be like doing more of an ovally round version with the round nose pliers. And then I'm going to show you how to do it with the two nose pliers to get the look that I did. I am using 18 gauge right now. I'm using the craft wire silver plated pewter 18 gauge, and I cut off about a foot, and I'm working about 3 inches from one end. If you don't want to have that extra, I would say probably 6 inches is probably enough. And as you can see, I'm just kind of curling them and then continuing to curl them, trying to keep it as flat as possible next to it. Just bringing them kind of like a whirlpool around. I'm going to switch over. I'm at this stage here. This is making a round one. Remember, we're going to switch over to this more angled, squared off one that matches our cubes in a little bit. But this is a fun link too. So, and it would be fun to do round with the cubes also. So I thought it'd be great to start it out with this because this is a little bit easier. So then when I'm at this stage, holding it with my chain nose pliers sandwiched between gently, I can then continue making the spiral around, just doing a little bit at a time, rotating my pliers as needed. Until I have the size that I want. And that gives you kind of like an inside out spiral. And then I'm going to take the chain nose pliers and kind of kink the end of or right at the base of the spiral, the short end. And now I'm going to take this longer side, the tail, And do that on the other side. Now, at this stage, yeah, the round looks very yin-yang in a way. It does. At this stage, what you'd wanna do is probably um, you would can work harden it if you want to, or you can just make I'm gonna make a loop here now. So I'm gonna take my round nose pliers and make my little loop that is going to be my link chain. You can also add like a little small bead to that if you wanted to decorate, make it a little more decorative. Cut on the inside of the loop. And a whack it down is like a great way to kind of work harden these. And now I have a little circular spiral. Yes, we're gonna use the square. We're gonna make the square next. I wanted to show the basics of what it was, what this is based off of so that you can get the idea. So it'll make it easier for when you do the square. So then you would take your whack it down and place it between the two pieces and like get it nice and work hardened and flat. Sarah has done that in previous videos. It's a great way to make sure your piece is work hardened and you have a nice sturdy link. So to turn that into this, so this is what inspired that. And again, you could probably do the same where I started out with the round nose in place. And if you start out with a flat nose in place like that, it probably would work pretty well. But I'm going to be forming it with my chain nose pliers. I'm going to put that one off to the side. That is fun. I'm working off of a piece. I would say this is 7 or 8 inches. And again, I'm going to go about 3 inches down. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm taking the very tips of my chain nose pliers and I'm going to make a very hard turn, a U-turn. And I'm going to kind of squeeze that a little together. Okay. And I'm letting these to be a little open because I like this openness, but you can take, if you wanted to make these up, close together, you can squish them together a little bit more to get the wires to touch, but I like the openness. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then I'm going to take and grab the chain nose pliers again, just a little bit over, and I'm grabbing the long wire. So this is that short end that I bent over, and I'm going to take this long one and I'm going to bend it over the other direction. Now this one's making it a little bit longer. If I'm trying to match them, I would want to make sure that I'm holding it in the spot. So I'm making this one a longer, more rectangle than my original, but I'm okay with that. I could open this up and fix that if I wanted to. But we're going to go for it. I'm going to make these a little bit different sizes on each one. And then I'm going to squeeze this together just gently, because we don't want to mark our pliers or wire too much with the pliers. Okay, so now we have like a Z. Really, really squatty Z. Now, take your tips of the chain nose pliers and hold them where the bend is. Oh, come on, get in there. And then we're going to bend over. Now that's a kind of a gentle bend, so I want to sharpen that a tiny bit by going in here and squeezing that side, and then squeezing this side and making it a little bit more of a little sharper bend. There we go. Now our Z, and that goes straight up. We're going to need to make this one going downwards. Hold right there. And press that up against it so it's going downwards. And if it's not squared off enough, I can just squeeze and press. There we go. And then I'm going to continue doing this, making these little bends, holding, pressing, following the natural zigzag direction. Around. And I go one more down. Let's do this. And there's zigzag there, and more of a square. Change, adjust anything as needed. That's the great thing about the craft wire. As you're working it, you can adjust it. And then about halfway up, I'm going to take a bend and go outwards. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And then I just need to make loops. Now, I'm going to just make a little loop for attaching. And I like them to be pretty well sized so that they dangle nicely. Now, if you wanted to do this, I'm doing 18 gauge so that I can do have these more open links. But you could do this in 20 gauge if you are doing it tighter. So I'm going to take a piece of 20 gauge so you can see what the difference is. Again, you're going to start with a nice little bend with our chain nose pliers, like pulling my mat into my lap. Okay. And squeeze. And then I'm going to actually squeeze these together a little tighter. And then this one. A little tighter. I would say 20 would work for a bracelet, definitely for earrings. It would work for a bracelet if you do tighter links like I'm showing you. So a very open, squared off spiral is going where you have this space here. You need that 18 to be a little bit stronger to hold that. But if you build these to be more like this, where they're not as open and they are more pressed against each other and just bending right at, and you take this and you just bend right at the thing so that they're really nice and close to each other. When you do this method, you can get away with your 20 gauge because that closeness, it's not as open, that is a little bit stronger for that 20 gauge. But you can see the difference in size. Not only is the wire different, but it does make a different size link if you do the same amount of bends. So you may prefer to do a little bit more to bulk it up a little bit. Exactly. So true. It's just like doing the smaller jump ring that's, it gives it more strength when the circumference is smaller in a jump ring. And that is rough. But they're doable. So play around with this a little bit. You know, you may find that you like one better than the other. Everyone's going to be different also with how they are with their jewelry. I wouldn't necessarily wear this as a bracelet for something where I'm very active. because I'll have a tendency to catch things on things when I'm very active, but definitely just normal wear and tear, that should be fine. And then, of course, work hardening. Oh, whoops. I am sorry that I got out of the camera frame. So let's do that again. Let's go grab another piece. I'm going to go back to the 18 gauge. And we'll make one more, and then we'll make some links with the squares to go in between. If you like these squares, we do have them on um, our live sell website app available right now. We have some of the crystals. I was thinking that, do I have one in here? We had this like cute little odd shaped drop that I thought also went with these squares that I thought would be cute hanging down with this link. As a pair of earrings. I thought that would be a fun one. In fact, if I made that a little bit longer, I could probably have just gone right into it because they have some decent size holes. Or you can grab some of those cubes. These are the larger cubes, the 8mm, but I think the 6mm would also, because there's some fun colors in the 6mm that we have, would also look very nice with them. Okay, so we have our piece of wire. Went back to the 18 gauge. This was done in the 20. So if you wanted to play around with the 20, sometimes that's easier to learn on because it is a little, with it being a little thinner. Take my chain nose pliers, take the very tips. And again, it's like, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 inches down from one side. I am going to make a very hard U-bend and squeeze it gently because this one I'm going to do more open. So I just want this a little bit closed, not all the way closed like the previous. Then we're going to go and I want to kind of hold it and kind of aim it to hold it at the same length spot on my previous one. You can always take take a Sharpie and mark this spot so you know where to grab it, like measure it next to your piece and mark it, and then just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol to take that off after you're done, if you're trying to get them to match up more. And now we have our zigzag. Oh, more an S this time because I'm on the wrong direction. And then I'm going to take the tip and bend, and then kind of squeeze that end here. Like if I squeeze right here, it usually kind of flattens that a little bit, which is nice, and then makes it a little sharper. Now I'm going to hold this here. Oop. Bend it. And then go over here and squeeze between, squeezing this side here, just squeezing it in my hands with the, or in the pliers, can make that end feel a little sharper. Now I gotta get my long one. I'm gonna do the first bend. And squeeze. It probably was sterling if they tumbled. I've never tried tumbling plated. I have, it might work, but I feel like that might also, uh, it's not really a scratchy surface with the tumbling shot. That's an interesting question. I have a tumbler with a tumbling shot. I might try that and see what that would be like. Uh, but just because I'm curious, you got like made me very curious. But that's usually done with sterling and copper metals that are, you know, pure copper. And just moving these. Hello, hello. Trying to get these as closely as possible to each other the way I, you know, going around. And then now I'm gonna just bend about halfway across that. Make a loop. Oh, I didn't leave myself very much here, so we're going to trim a little bit of that off. Take my round nose pliers and curl that loop in. And again, work hard in these if you want, like on a whack it down or on with a rawhide mallet and a metal anvil or bench block, um, to work hard in it. Make sure it's like a rawhide or rubber mallet so that you're not putting indentations, or nylon mallet. So you're not putting indentations into it unless you want that, because that might be kind of fun to have it with a hammered look. Do you have to practice hammering craft wire? Because if you over hammer it, you can get down to the copper core. All right, there we go. So we have another one, and I'm making them larger and larger because it's really hard for me to do this under. I didn't realize it was gonna be difficult shaping that under the camera. While so they end up being a little bit longer. I think that actually works really good for an earring. As I'm going, I would just be kinda like measure, you know, if I was to, you know, when I do the next one, probably match it. So I'm gonna just turn these, since they are they're longer and they kind of match. I did a pretty good job making these two match, even though I didn't try. Um, and that's my secret, is you make a whole bunch of links and then you match them, and it just, you'll find ones that match quite well together. I'm going to turn these ones into the earrings. Let's make a little. Oh, did I make this loop big enough for this to go on here? Let's see. Let's see if this will fit. I don't think it will fit. No, it won't fit because I did not make that loop big enough, but that's okay. You could take a jump ring or make your own jump ring. to attach this. I'm going to attach this one on. I'm going to make try to make my own jump rings here with the largest part of this round nose, and just coil some on the largest part. Is that going to be large enough for that? Maybe. Let's try that out. We don't know until we try it, right? Thank you. I had fun making them. I hope you had fun uh, watching, following along and watching me. Uh, okay, I got 2 jump rings. Let's see if these fit. Where's my other? There they are. Please like and follow. Let us know if you are enjoying this. Are you planning on making one of these? Did you get some of these in our last live sale? What are you planning on making with your crystals that you got? We'd love to see it in our VIB group. I would love to know what you're planning in the comments. Oh, that's perfect. So I got I got the earrings. I know I have a second one. Where did the second one go? There it is. So these little drops are on there. They are these like, I think they called them polygon or something like that. Play on a yeah. They are odd shaped. They're really cool. It makes them look more organic in a sense without it being organic because it's a crystal. And we got that link there. And then for this, again, on these ones, I use my 20 gauge wire to do the squares, like the 20 gauge, a little bit better, the cubes. So I use a piece of 20 gauge. Do you? Awesome. Are you planning on bead weaving? It's so hard. Crystals do cut a lot of beading threads, so it is tricky working with crystals and beadwork. Maybe that's why I'm always prone to want to do. I will use some of them in beadwork, but I do love wire for the fact that they can handle that crystal, the sharpness of those crystals. All right, I'm gonna start with a loop. And there we go. And our crystal collection that we have is up on our live sale. So if you missed it last week, you can get them right now. We are having them up, and they usually ship the in-betweens, I think, are about 1 to 3 days because it's not the full live sale part, so it makes it a little bit easier to ship them out a little bit quicker. Granted, I believe Rosie, who is the one that does it, is off tomorrow, so it might be an extra day. Yeah, that has always been my thing, Kristen, is that I really do think you're usually not just doing one pair of earrings or one set. We make something, or even like the necklace, we don't necessarily, or a bracelet, are only doing one. A lot of times we're making multiple anyway, because we're gonna like, oh, I love this idea. Maybe I don't put the crystal on every single one. Maybe I do the cubes. Maybe I do one set with pink cubes instead of the black cubes. But we tend to like make multiples because we're like, oh, I can make that as a gift, or or I want to have a different a, a different color to match a different top. And you might as well make a bunch of links and then pair up the ones that match the best. Then you don't have to worry on whether or not you got them, they're going to match. They're going to match. You're going to find one that match. All right, let's do another link. Where are we at? Yeah, let's do another link because I want to add too much to this. I got the earrings set. Now I want to add one more to here before we go. Okay, chain nose pliers, about 3 inches down. Twist. Squeeze those a little bit together. Now I'm going to look at this and try, see how I did not squeeze it all the way. So that might be part of my problem. I want to match it up to that. So I'm going to squeeze this a little bit more together. Okay. Just a little bit more. Now that matches that better. So now I'm going to gauge that it's about right here. And I'm going to go and bend the long wire. And squeeze that together. I sometimes will over squeeze it, and then open it up a little. Exactly. And I love it when a design, yeah, I start out thinking I'm going to do something one way, and then because I'm just letting myself create like extra links and extra beads and different things like that, I tend to like, it's amazing what you, and I'm going to do this side. I tried, it's amazing what you come up with in there. So I'm going to just get this really close and bend and try to work both sides at the same time, because it does make it a little bit easier if you trade off sides. Oh, no, this is a little bit wonky. There we go. Again, if it doesn't shape up, you can kind of squeeze there. That's looking great. And those match that nicely. I love that. And back. There we go. Make a little loops on either side for my links. And then just close those up. And the great thing about simple loops is that and then I can work hard in that if I want. I'm going to end up just putting these on here. I can just open up this simple loop, pulling it to the side, and then string this on and close that up. And look at that. It's a little longer. Yeah, that's how I've been doing it forever. I like to do that. I feel like I can get it closer and rounder when I do it that way and more equal to the shape of the size. All right, let's see. We have a winner to pick. Did you get your hashtag square in? There is not a live sale today. Our live sale is not until next week. Next Thursday at 10 a.m. is our regular scheduled one. And then we also have our bead shopping network. But if you wanted to grab the cubes, we do have the crystals are up to purchase. They're up on there to purchase in between the lives in the crystal collection. So if you don't want to wait until next week, because these might not be actually in the live sale, although they will be available to purchase next week, you can always go over and grab that, click that link, the crystal collections link, and be able to purchase there. And then on Thursday is our normal live sell day. We're going to have a double feature next week and have Bead Shopping Network. And we are going to be at 9:30, but we're going to kick off at 8 a.m. Pacific time with Jesse James. And then us at 9:30, 11 o'clock with Sam's Bead Shop, 1 p.m. with Jill Wiseman, 2:30 with Beads to Live By, and the Bead Place ending the day at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Those are all the Pacific times. The other times are there on the there. You can also hit the go check that out on the Bead Shopping Network page. So let's see who is the winner. Who got their hashtag square? I saw some new hashtag squares in there. Can you shop all places from the website? No, that page just has the links to go. Every person has a different way of selling. So you do want to see how they are selling. All right, let's go see who is our lucky winner. Got hashtag, uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Let's change that. I put square and I put cube in the thing and did not get that. So let's update that. There we go. We saved that. Okay, get your hashtag square. Cube, square, right? They're both the same. Not when you're trying to pick a winner. Yeah, just in case. Oh, you're great. Yeah, no, hashtag square. That was silly. Oh my goodness. Okay, just letting everybody get there. There we go. Ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Let's see who the winner is. That was great. Carolyn, you are the lucky winner today. Thank you for joining us. Are you here? I know. My head thought they were the same exact thing, and they are, but not. Yay! I'm so glad that you won. Make sure you give Thomas your information at marketing at softflexcompany.com, what your username and the email that you use to create your Softflex. This is your regular Softflex account that will apply the regular page. And then we're back. We're back. So what are you going to make with your crystals? Your premium sparkly crystals. I would hope to see you make something. I would love to see if anybody makes any links, whether you make little squared off links like these to match the square, cube crystals, or even like I showed in the beginning, how to do it in more just a circle spiral. I would love to see what you make. I am going to finish my bracelet or maybe necklace and then send these pictures off so that you can catch them in the recap because that is always so fun. And then we got those beautiful earrings with the drops at the bottom. What would you make with yours? Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy, keep beading. Don't forget to go and grab your free beads on our Softflex page by putting in Paris Paradiso in the coupon code for your free strand with a purchase of $49 or more. Catch us next week with Kristen on Monday, June 1st. With free spirited beading, and June 3rd, beading party with Kate Goss with us. Sarah, June 4th will be our regularly scheduled Softflex Live Bead Sale with a bunch of fun things. And then, of course, Bead Shopping Network Summer Edition. And on June 5th, we are going to do ours at 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I say 3? 9:30 a.m. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.